Remembering those lost 24 years ago, how the victims of September 11th are being honored nationally and right here in the state line. Plus teaching the next generations about the significance of today, the local efforts here to make educated those who didn't live through the attacks. And a call for action for people to give back, how local food pantry is spending this National Day of Service.
Live from WTVO 17. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
I'm Wendell Edwards. We thank you for joining us. Mimi is off tonight. We don't need the calendar to know what today means. It marks 24 years since the deadly terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001. At Ground Zero in New York City, the names of the attack victims, again, as every year, read out loud by family and loved ones in a solemn ceremony. Moments of silence held at the exact times when those hijacked planes struck the World Trade Center's iconic Twin Towers. Also, moments of silence took place at the Pentagon and in an empty field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, to honor the victims killed in those two plane crashes. Here in Rockford, several also gathered to pay their respects at the Winnebago County 9/11 Emergency Responders Memorial. Community members, elected officials, and first responders attended the event outside the County Justice Center. A ceremonial wreath was placed near the steel beams that are from the World Trade Center.
Not only in this memorial do we remember 9/11 and those died on 9/11 in New York City and Washington, D.C., but also those Winnebago County members. We have a wall here that lines with our Winnebago County first responders that we lost. Those plaques memorialize our local responders that have passed away. We continue to remember those individuals also.
Winnebago County was given the steel beams from the World Trade Center in 2011. A Rockford Historical Museum held its own memorial event today, again to honor and remember September 11th. This bell ringing is so solemn. It's a ceremony that took place at Midway Village this morning. It was in honor of veterans and active duty military members, as well as first responders and victims of 9/11. It serves as a way to remember the tragedy and its place in history.
9/11 has had a significant impact on the United States and the world, frankly. So in part of our telling of our history, we took a brief moment this morning to tell a little bit about our connection and why we thought it's important to continue to recognize the importance and impact of 9/11 and really respect those that gave their ultimate sacrifice in their lives during that occurrence.
The ringing of the bell marks the end of service for a fallen firefighter dating back 150 years. For those who were here, 9/11 won't ever be forgotten, but for those who didn't live through it or perhaps were just too young to remember it, it's just a part of history. But that makes teaching the next generation so crucial. Eyewitness reporter Blake Dietz spoke with the fire chief and a teacher about why they both make it a priority to educate the next generation. Blake.
Yeah, teaching 9/11, of course, is not just about what happened. For those educating the next generation, they want to emphasize the resiliency, the camaraderie, and of course the American spirit that shined in the aftermath of 9/11. At Stillman Vet Fire Protection District, Chief Chad Hoffel brings history to life for kids, giving them a chance to look at and touch the steel beam that you see there from the North Tower. It's an experience that you can rarely have outside of the memorials at New York City, one that Hoffel hopes can teach the positives that comes out of this tragedy.
We learned about neighbors helping neighbors, people from complete strangers helping out strangers. This changed the fire service forever, as a lot of tragedies do. The fire service is resilient, and we pick back up and we take care of each other, take care of our own, and we keep moving forward. And the important part is to not dwell on the tragedy, but learn from the tragedy so we can keep moving forward.
You can hear more from Chief Hoffel as well as a local teacher that I spoke with coming up in the full story at 6. Wendell.
Thank you very much, Blake. The man behind Rockford Scanner says his arrest on suspicion of a hit and run is about sabotage. On his website, 46-year-old Ricky Tragers responded about his arrest Tuesday. He was accused of purposely hitting a car and then taking off. Traeger now claiming his arrest is part of a plot to prevent his platform from posting videos of what he claims to be officers slacking on the job. His post says, in part, quote, "This is their way of controlling Rockford Scanner, putting me into the justice system. I have to abide by their rules," end quote. You see, just before 3:30 Tuesday afternoon, officers responded to a reported hit and run at East State and Alpine. Police say Traeger was driving erratically before running into an SUV, then confronted the other driver, then got in his car and drove off. Witnesses say he was later arrested, and then officers found more than 70 oxycodone pills belonging to him. He faces several charges now. He is out of jail since being granted pretrial release. In Janesville, police raided multiple homes as part of a drug investigation and ended up arresting one man. Authorities say they searched 2 houses and found crack cocaine, marijuana, and ecstasy pills inside. Police and SWAT officers later took Deshaun Foreman into custody in a parking lot on North High Street. He's already on probation for a case in 2024. He's now charged with a probation violation. Police say he will face additional charges in the coming days. A DeKalb woman is in jail tonight after authorities say she attacked a man with a knife. Kashwana Harris is charged with aggravated battery. Around 2:45 a.m., DeKalb County Sheriff's deputies arrived at an apartment on North Annie Glidden Road. Now, according to investigators, Harris and another woman were at the victim's apartment when an argument somehow started. Officials say Harris began swinging a pocket knife, slashing a man on his arm. She was booked into the DeKalb County Jail pending pretrial release. September 11th is also known as a National Day of Service, and volunteers with the Northern Illinois Food Bank serviced by sorting food and stocking shelves. Nearly 400 people gave their time across all locations, with just about 100 of them at the Rockford space on Sandy Hollow Road. Despite this, organizers with the food bank say there's still an even more need for volunteers.
We never have enough volunteers to help do that. And so, as I mentioned, our dedicated volunteers are staying and putting in more time and coming back the next day. It would be great if we can continue to build that group, because we would love for you to continue to volunteer and to help us. And you don't have to sign away your life to volunteer. You can just do that. Like you said, if you have a day off, you can just come for one day.
The food bank serves about 58,000 people in Winnebago County every month. A manhunt tonight still underway for the suspected murderer. When we come back, the photo of the person of interest in relation to the killing of political activist Charlie Kirk.
Temperatures, after dropping down into the 50s early this morning, got into the low 80s here this afternoon, but we will see those numbers climb heading into the weekend, but it doesn't come without the chance for at least some rainfall and perhaps a few rumbles of thunder. I've got the timing of that and if it puts a wrinkle in any of your weekend plans coming up in the First Warn forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
The FBI today releasing photos of a person of interest in relation to the killing of political activist Charlie Kirk. Authorities also recovering a weapon and now asking for the public's help to find this suspected killer. Jacqueline Lee is at Utah Valley University and tells us where the investigation is right now.
New developments in the manhunt for the person suspected of gunning down 31-year-old Charlie Kirk. The FBI releasing these photos, asking for the public's help in identifying the person of interest. The FBI analyzing a bolt-action rifle officials in Utah say they discovered in the woods, believed to be used in connection with the shooting. They're looking for any possible DNA or fingerprints. Multiple law enforcement sources telling ABC News it was wrapped in a towel, with a spent cartridge still chambered and 3 unspent containing what law enforcement officials describe as transgender and anti-fascist writings. Law enforcement has not explained what that means or whether those markings were meant to misdirect investigators. Authorities combing through video from the scene, including this one, which appears to show a person on the roof, according to sources familiar with the ongoing investigation.
After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
Kirk was shot and killed during an event at Utah Valley University Wednesday.
I was 15 feet away, and it was really hard to witness. As the guy said shooting or shooters or something like that, you just hear the gunshot and I'm sorry.
Kirk founded the conservative youth organization Turning Point USA, a memorial growing outside their Phoenix headquarters. There was controversy over many of his viewpoints and comments, including about the LGBTQ+ community, single women, and Jewish people. President Trump today saying he will be awarding Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on.
A source confirming to ABC News that Vice President J.D. Vance will be meeting with Kirk's family here in Utah before taking his casket on board Air Force Two back home to Phoenix. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Orem, Utah.
Back here in the state line, the heat continues to rise. When we return, Candace lets us know how hot our weekend could get. That's in her full forecast next.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, it has been another beautiful September afternoon. Temperatures continue to climb, even if it is a few degrees each and every day. Today, we made it into the low 80s. Couple of spots stayed in the 70s, and those numbers are cooling off as we're starting to see just a bit of a lake breeze kind of take shape there to our east and northeast, dropping temperatures into the mid 70s, 75 in Harvard, 76 in Woodstock, 77 in DeKalb, but we're sitting at 80 right now here in Rockford and 83 our current temperature in Dixon. We had sunshine out there earlier today, along with some cloud cover actually early this morning. That gave way to mostly sunny skies. Then with the heating of the day, we had those fair weather cumulus clouds develop. We can still continue to see those as we look across the area, but going through the rest of this evening, that cloud cover will continue to fade away, leading to a mainly clear sky tonight. High pressure continues to build in across the Great Lakes, pushing that storm track mainly up to our north and northwest, leaving us high and dry here throughout the day tomorrow. 55, I think that's where we'll head for the night tonight again. That's what our temperature started off at this morning. Mainly clear skies and then some patchy fog late as our wind again will stay light here from the southeast. It'll continue going into tomorrow. 86 for the afternoon. Few clouds as we continue that warmth building in. We might see a little more cloud cover late tomorrow night, but I do not anticipate any issues for those Friday night football games. It will be warm though compared to what it was last Friday when it was chilly and a little breezy out there. Temperatures at kickoff right around 7. We'll start off in the mid and upper 70s, and then by the time we get towards that 9:30 hour, temperatures will be dropping through those upper 60s and low 70s. So an overall warm evening, but rain free until at least late tomorrow night. So let's put all that together with Futurecast. You can see some of that fog developing here very early tomorrow. The cloud cover has been very, very persistent from some of those areas of fog up north in Wisconsin. So we might actually see that kind of drift a little more to the south. And then that cooler wind coming in off of Lake Michigan, pulling in some of that moisture, could allow again that fog. And then perhaps some low stratus clouds, something some of us woke up to here early this morning. So it would potentially be the same thing going into tomorrow, but we'll see partly cloudy skies for tomorrow afternoon. There's a ridge of high pressure that builds in throughout the day, but we've got this little disturbance. You can see these showers here late tomorrow evening in northeast Iowa, southwest Wisconsin. Those will originate out to the north and northwest and then kind of ride up over top of that ridge late Friday, getting into very early Saturday. So cloud cover should be on the increase during that time, and we could see a couple of showers very early Saturday morning. Now the question with this, where exactly do those showers line up? They could line up a little further to the north, and then if so, that would kind of keep any activity more to our north and east and leave us mostly dry. But if these showers Saturday morning line up right over the area, we could see some of that rain persist a bit longer into the morning hours, along with some of that cloud cover, as Futurecast is indicating, keeping that cloud cover around going into the afternoon. So the net and end impact of that could be slightly cooler temperatures for some on Saturday if we keep those clouds sticking around. Nonetheless, I think our temperatures will continue to warm. Sunday looks mostly dry, and right at this point I think has a better chance of reaching that 90-degree mark, but we'll hang on to some of that warmth even as we head into next week. Shower chance, it's slight at this point on Monday, and then keeping with those 80s there as we head into next week, perhaps breaking the pattern down just a little bit, but hanging on to some of that warmth.
Hanging it on this summer. Okay. Thank you very much. Scott's up next with sports. The Packers are set for another big game tonight. Home game at Lambeau Field, one that will be a test for the defense.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
We'll see shortly if the Packers can repeat that top-notch effort that they turned in last Sunday against the Lions. They'll go up against another formidable opponent tonight in the Commanders. The Commanders just missed going to the Super Bowl last year, and Jaden Daniels is a year older and wiser. Now, two key Packers on the offensive line are questionable for tonight, Zach Toms and Aaron Banks. If they can't go, the Packers' depth on the O-line will be tested. On the defensive side, Jeff Hafley would love to see his guys play with the same gusto that they showed against the Lions.
I told the guys after the game, just being up there and seeing how fast they played and seeing how hard they played, and they ran to the ball and they tackled and they're punching at the ball, and the excitement, and then watching it on film the next day, I mean, that's probably one of my proudest moments as a coach. Just like, I mean, they were relentless for the entire game, and it was everybody. Like, everybody who stepped foot on that field, I mean, they just played so hard.
The Packers will wear their all-white alternate uniforms and helmets tonight, making Lambeau Field look like a whiteout blizzard. This game is being streamed on Prime Video. It cannot be shown by any TV stations in Rockford. And the Bears and Lions are set for a high noon showdown Sunday in Detroit. It's a homecoming for Ben Johnson. He says he's still tight and always will be tight with Lions head coach Dan Campbell.
That friendship's always going to be there. I view him like family, and I think he would tell you the same thing. And so that'll never change. We have fond memories of back when I was just a young snot-nosed computer punk, as he likes to call it, in Miami. And that's part of the journey, is seeing where everyone goes.
We will have the Bears-Lions game on Fox 39 Sunday at noon. That's part of a Fox doubleheader. And right after that, we'll have the Eagles against the Chiefs, a Super Bowl rematch. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Our first Warning Interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Glass and More. Stays pretty quiet out there tonight. Might see some areas of fog develop again going into early tomorrow. Temperatures, though, for us tonight will drop down into the mid-50s. We'll climb back into the low to mid-80s for tomorrow afternoon. That rain thunder chance comes in after midnight. Could carry over into Saturday, so we'll watch that, especially for those temperatures, but staying in the 80s next week.
Thank you, Candace, and thank you for watching. We'll see you tonight at 6.